I believe that's for you, Governor. If you will, silence your cell phones. I'm kidding. Welcome. You can have a seat. You know, it's a privilege for me to serve in a community where families and schools value the health and safety of students above all things. That's why yesterday, when I shared with the staff that no students would have cell phones accessible in class, they cheered. That's why when I emailed parents, I had overwhelming support. But nothing inspired me more than one of the emails that I received from a family, Reese Lane, and his family is with us today. Stephanie Red, Anxious Generation, I don't know where you are, but there are two children there in the back if you stand up. Reese and Stephanie and Ruby and Nora. They're blessed to have 3 girls in their family, which is why this conversation is so important. But what I was inspired by was the dad's going to start a dad's girl group of 7 men where they're going to set norms for their girls and delay cell phone uses. And so I know that together, our communities working with our schools, we can dramatically improve the mental health of our students. So thank you, family, for working with us. It is now my distinct honor to introduce the 47th governor of Arkansas. Sarah Huckabee Sanders has the distinction of being the state's first female governor and the youngest governor in the U.S. Since taking the office of governor, she has committed a number of resources to education with a particular focus on student mental health, which leads us here today. Governor Sanders recently invited all the Arkansas districts to participate in a pilot, and Bentonville School is lucky to be one of those pilot schools. It's my belief that this work will impact not only the learning environment, but more importantly, the emotional well-being of our youth. Please welcome Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Thank you. Thank you and good afternoon. It is great to be in a school before all of the excitement of the new year begins. And thank you, Dr. Jones, for the introduction, but more importantly, thank you for your leadership here in this area and frankly, the impact that you've had on the entire state for being willing to participate. Your district has been a great partner in our work to promote phone-free schools, and we're very grateful for the work that you're doing. Principal McAuliffe, thank you for hosting us here today. You and I have both read Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation. In fact, you liked the book so much that you sent a memo to every member of your staff encouraging them to read it. I liked the book so much, I sent it to every single legislator in the state of Arkansas, as well as every governor around the country. Maybe we should start a book club. And of course, I want to say a huge thank you to several of our legislators who are here in the audience who have helped our state facilitate phone-free schools program. If you guys don't mind standing up and being recognized, there are a number of our state legislators that are here today. We're also joined by superintendents from across Northwest Arkansas, as well as several teachers and parents from around the area. I know everyone is busy getting ready for the school year, so we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to be here and to join us. I know because I'm getting ready at my house as well. In total, we have about 180 Arkansas school districts, which make up 75% of our state, that have signed up for the phone-free initiative that we launched only a few weeks ago. It's been right at a month since we announced it, so it just shows the level of enthusiasm that we're seeing both from teachers and parents from all over Arkansas. I'm here today as one of them, not just as the governor, but more importantly, the mom of 3 young kids, Scarlett, Huck, and George. I have a 7th grader, a 5th grader, and a 3rd grader. And so like all parents, I want my kids to know how to responsibly use the internet before they get online. I also don't want phones to distract from class time or in-person socialization. I see the impact it is having in my own home and across our state. Our phone-free school program is a great first step to promoting it statewide, and it could not get here fast enough because our country has been experimenting with unregulated smartphone use for more than a decade. And unfortunately, the results have been absolutely devastating for our young people. Since smartphones and social media became widespread, suicide rates have tripled among young teens. Self-harm among girls in particular is up 200%, and teenage depression is up 150%. Math, reading, and science scores have dropped since smartphones became common, not just in America, but across the entire developed world. Alienation is on the rise. Now, let me be clear, I'm not saying that smartphones and social media are all bad. They can certainly be an extremely useful tool when used correctly. But the average American teen now spends nearly 5 hours a day on social media. Any parent and any teacher knows that is way too much. Both as a concerned parent and as governor of Arkansas, I knew that we had to do something to change the trajectory of what is happening here to our students. That's why this June I gathered a group of superintendents to discuss the mental health crisis that is facing our kids. Based on those conversations, we rolled out the pilot program that we are here today to kick off. We offered districts funding not only to purchase pouches that allow kids to safely store their phones during class time, but also we added an additional program. I recently had a chance to have a conversation with the CEO of Yonder, who is here with us today. They make pouches that allow students to hold onto their phones during the day, but without being able to use them. One of the things that he said that really stuck with me that I think is important for not only us leading this program to recognize, but our teachers and parents. This isn't about taking anything away. This is about giving students the freedom to enjoy a phone-free education. I think that's one of the most important takeaways and certainly one of the most important messages for us to communicate to our young people. Our pilot program also provides grants to support telemental health services, which is especially important in the areas of our state that don't have nearby mental health professionals. I know that it will have a positive effect on our schools, and I can say that with complete and total confidence because several schools have already launched their own phone-free programs this school year, and the results have been better than we could have ever imagined. Under Principal Jonathan Guthrie, Bentonville West High School piloted their program last year and saw immediate improvement. Verbal and physical aggression offenses fell 57%. Drug-related offenses dropped 51%. And 86% of teachers saw increased student engagement. 77% saw improvements in classroom behavior. If that's not enough to encourage everyone, I don't know that we can find any statistics that will. It's incredibly compelling. But even more so are the stories that we've heard from different teachers and parents that have participated in the programs. One teacher mentioned that before this program, students who finished class early would sit at their desks, heads down, scrolling on their phones. Now they actually talk to one another, socialize. A guidance counselor had a student come to her and actually thanked her for the program. She said the girl didn't have a smartphone and felt pushed and bullied by her friends to get one. Now that students keep them tucked away during class time, she doesn't feel the same pressure. To the parents in the crowd, you and I remember when we were in school before there were smartphones. It was undistracted classrooms, laughter in the hallways, and talking in the cafeteria. For a lot of kids, school is not like that anymore, but it doesn't have to be that way. We can and we will do better. I want to thank all of the teachers, the administrators, and the parents that are here today who have embraced this program with open arms. It's good for our kids, it's good for our schools, and most importantly, it's imperative for our state. I'll now turn it over to Secretary Oliva, who has played a big role in helping shape this program and has been such an incredible leader on so many things, and we are so thankful and lucky to have him. With that, I will turn it over and let him tell us a little bit more about the program. Thank you all so much.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Governor Sanders, Dr. Jones. There's some other superintendents here, as well as our State Board of Education. And this is an initiative that's easy to stand behind. And people have been begging for support around this initiative to focus on letting our teachers teach and not be distracted by being cell phone police for a long time. But we wouldn't be here without Governor Sanders' leadership and Dr. Jones especially, because when we meet and collaborate, our governor wanted to meet with superintendents from around the state and say, what can we help do support for you as a state that you're seeing in children that we can lean on? Because I'm really concerned about some of the stuff I've read around the anxious generation. I'm really concerned about the demographics and the numbers we're seeing with the number of students that have acting out behaviors. What can we do? And we had a robust roundtable discussion, and it became very clear that our schools want access to more high quality mental health services, and they want us to help support them with high quality mental health education, but that cell phones unanimously across the board with all the school districts are an issue. And they said, if there's anything you can do to stand behind us and support us with a pilot or initiative, we want to do it. So not only are we working with some school districts, and I call some of them our early onboarders, to say, let's do a pilot, let's do it right. We're actually doing a actual empirical research study. We partnered with the University of Arkansas and the Office of Education Policy, and the folks that are implementing the pilot program with Fidelity, they're going to be surveying students, they're going to be surveying parents, they're going to track data, and they're going to conduct a year-long peer-reviewed research article. So we're going to measure impact. So at one point, we're going to come and be able to stand in front of everybody at this time next year and say, here's evidence of what this program did, or maybe that it didn't do. But I can tell you, just even being right here in the middle school talking to some teachers, they are so excited that we are, as a state, supporting and standing behind this initiative. And I was talking to middle school literacy teachers, and I was talking to middle school counselors, and they were very clear. We see problems with our students writing in the middle school level because they want to write in text on a research paper, and that's not acceptable. They're telling me point blank, our kids aren't communicating the way they used to. Like this addictiveness to social media and cell phones is an issue, and we need to protect our teaching time because we have high expectations for our young scholars. And as Governor Sanders said, we have some schools that are already back in session, and I've been in contact with superintendents who have even sent me pictures of students at lunch and said, look, not a cell phone in sight. Kids are actually talking to each other and being kids. And he even said, it's almost like the students were relieved that we told them to put it away. And we know that we're going to get the same results and the same reactions as we work with school districts like Bentonville here all across the state. So thank you, Governor, for your leadership, superintendents, school board members. Thank you for standing behind the courage to be part of such a bold initiative. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Governor Sanders, Secretary Oliva, Dr. Jones, and our many other distinguished guests. It's an honor to welcome you to Ardis Middle School as we work together to advocate for the mental health of all students, not only in Bentonville, not only in Northwest Arkansas, but across the entire state. Several months ago, when I read Jonathan Haidt's The Anxious Generation, I kept thinking about what I could do as a school leader. And after one quick call to the governor, here we are today. But really, it is so encouraging to think of this pilot program becoming a model for other states around the country too. And so we're very happy to be part of it. I'm proud to represent Ardis Middle School. We think of ourselves as a family, and our vision statement, building a legacy of kindness and community, speaks to our school's 30-year history in Bentonville and our hopes for future alumni. In any family or community, trust is essential, and a phone-free school environment will grow trust between students and staff. At Artisan, we strive to create a welcoming environment, and we want to be there to support students however we can. For students who have phones, our hope is that they will now more often turn to trusted teachers and counselors and administrators when they need help. And in this way, I think that this pilot program will also serve to strengthen that partnership between home and school. Yesterday, our school district was fortunate enough to hear from author and researcher Sean Akar, who reminded us that social connections are a significant predictor of happiness in life. Going phone-free at school will facilitate more of these positive social connections with others. I'm grateful that my school and my district are able to participate in this pilot program, and since I imagine that for the educators out here, like me, you think of next week as the real first day of the year, I wish you a happy new year and all the best in the weeks to come. Thank you all for coming today, and this concludes our event. Thank you.